Overall evaluation, I think our kids have done a phenomenal job through the summer. I think that's the first thing. From where we left spring to where we are now, there's a big noticeable difference. So I just, kudos to those guys for how they've prepared this summer, because we're in a way better place than we were when we exited the spring. So they've done a lot of really good work. Really proud of our offensive line. Coach Allen, they do a great job on defense. Making things difficult on us, and I think our O-line's done a really nice job in a run game and a pass protection standpoint. We've taken care of the ball relatively well, which is obviously the most important thing you do. Turnovers and explosive plays are going to make the difference in who wins and loses the game. So obviously there's ball security every day. That's a huge part of what we do, and so we've taken care of the ball pretty well. And then other than that, I think our kids, from just a mentality standpoint, I think they're just really, really, really hungry to learn. They're hungry to improve. They're hungry to be better than we were a year ago, almost to the point of they're starving, and so just really enjoy the mentality of this group right now. They're a joy and a blessing to work with every day.
Well, how much hitting will there be now that the pads are on, and how much you get after it?
Oh, we've had, I believe, 2 days in shoulder pads. We've had 2 days in shoulder pads, 1 day in full pads. It's been really physical. We've had some really physical inside segments. We had short yardage goal line yesterday. So we have been really physical. Good perimeter periods, between the wideouts and perimeter players and the DBs, what we call little inside drill. It's been plenty physical. Blocking and tackling, those things never change. If you can block and tackle well, you've got a chance to win football games. From blocking, tackling, and great eye discipline, every team, if you can do those three things really well, you got a chance. So Coach Allen's done a great job putting a camp together where we're able to do those things in a physical way, but also keep our guys healthy.
Dustin, then we'll go to Zoom with Matt Week.
And obviously go to the quarterback space. What stood out to you about the Connor and Jack so far? What do you like about each of them? Kind of big play as far as?
Yeah, just overall system knowledge. We're so much further along. As elementary as this sounds, you kind of talk about the ABCs of certain concepts, and then eventually, through repetition, you start to learn some DEFs. To be able to start with the DEFs as we're on our way to the XYZs is a nice thing. But they've both done a really nice job. They're both handling this competition incredibly well. They both help each other. They're always good teammates because they're both good human beings on top of being really good football players. The other guy that's done an incredible job is Dexter Williams. Dexter Williams is going to be a really good player someday. I'm really impressed with the improvement that Dexter Williams has made between spring and now. So excited about him. But all three of those kids, again, great teammates, good people. They're doing everything they possibly can to go win and compete for the job.
All right, Matt Weaver and then Tyler. Doing everything they possibly can to win and compete for the job.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm great, brother. Yourself?
I'm okay. I want to ask you about the tight ends. Obviously, you guys got a guy back in AJ
brother. Yourself?
Who's got some experience. Just curious about how he's coming along, and then the guys behind him. I know it's a young group. What are you seeing from that position group?
AJ's a really good player. Another guy who's improved, just in terms of overall system knowledge between the spring and now. James Bamba has done a great job stepping up, kind of becoming a more physical inline grinder who's also got really soft hands. Steiny's done a really nice job. Brody Foley is a young tight end, that's going to be a really good player. And he was an early enrollee that wasn't healthy in the spring, and so now he's back. Dogstrip's done a nice job. Barnesy's done a nice job. We've got some good serviceable depth. And then the one guy that has really grown and has really started to improve is Trey Walker, who is a walk-on here that's a big, long guy. He gives us some value at the point of attack, runs better than a lot of people think he does, and has caught the ball really well up to this point in his camp. So, really excited about the position group, even though it's a young group. Everybody in there is young, but Coach Wright's doing a great job with those guys, and so we're excited about, the fact that not only they're going to add production and value to the offense, but they all have a little bit of a different skill set. We've got a really diversified position, so excited about that group.
Tyler and Greg.
Coach. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask about Jalen Lucas. When you first met him, what just stood out to you about him, and how have you kind of seen him develop over the past few months?
All right, first thing about Jalen. I would say when you first meet him, wonderful personality, wonderful child. He's a really young kid. He's still 17 years old. He doesn't turn 18 till September, so he'll play his first college snaps as a 17-year-old. But just a wonderful kid. Just how he prepares, kind of really far along in a maturity standpoint, just in his approach to the game. Now, on the football field, incredibly explosive. He's a guy that can go win in a 5x5 yard box. The first guy isn't going to get him on the ground very much. And he's had some really good explosive plays in the first 5 or 6 days. I believe we've had 6 days of fall camp. And he's a guy that we're going to do what we can as he learns to, pass protection. And as he learns to truly be a running back, he's a guy that also, that we can sprinkle around to take advantage of his skill sets, because he's a great route runner, a great catcher. I mean, he's a guy that can truly be a real hybrid and do lots of things for us.
Greg and Mike.
Yeah, Walt, what have you seen? What does Donovan McCulley look like as a wide receiver?
For Indiana fans, probably really similar to what he looked like last year. He's really tall, he's really long, he's really explosive, he's a great athlete. He's been catching the ball from the center. So now you just, slide the center 20, 30 yards away, and now he's catching it from a quarterback. But he's got a chance to be a really good player. Now, first time truly playing the position, still very early in the process of learning the craftsmanship of the position, the ability to kind of play above and outside of the X and O's, and some of the nuance to the position. He's still learning that, but in the future, I feel like he's going to be a really, really special player for Indiana.
And coming back to quarterback, I don't mean it that way. I guess I'm trying to blurt the question out for him. Took it from me. Is he a receiver? Is that what he is, or is he a receiver now? No,
he's a receiver. But don't be surprised if you ever saw him back there. I mean, you don't he's a football player, and wherever we need him to play, he can play.
Mike and Keegan.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to continue on the wide receivers. It seems like a wide open competition there out, especially on the outside. It seems like a lot of guys could end up seeing the field. What are you focused on with that group? What's going to kind of win the day for guys to start or see the field at wide receiver out on the edge?
Just first in terms of winning a job, and this goes for every player, kind of within the program, is, you got to add value to your position group. You got to add value to your unit, in terms of your side of the ball, and you got to add value to the team. And so we've got a bunch of guys right now competing to prove, that they're the best guy to do that for us. So we've got a good, healthy, open competition. Our outside wideouts have and again, I think a lot of it has to do with the work they put in this summer, and Coach Henry through the summer and through camp right now. But we got a bunch of outside wideouts competing. There's a lot of improvement. We're in a much better place than we were when spring started, and an even better place than when spring finished. So that means that there's been continual improvement, which is the ultimate goal. But we've got a bunch of outside guys competing for reps. Cam Camper, Javon Swinton, Donovan McCulley, Anderson Kobe, who's a new addition for us. Emory Simmons has the ability to play inside and outside. A young Omar Cooper who's going to be a really good football player for Indiana at some point in his career. We've got a good, healthy competition going out there, and so I'm just excited. And it takes a lot of guys. I don't know if I've ever been anywhere where your two outside guys played every snap all year long. It takes a lot of guys, and so we've just got to continue to develop and make sure that we just identify the guys that we know we can count on in a game, knowing that everybody's going to have to play.
Keegan, and then go to Jim.
Offense. Who's a guy that you could possibly see reach or kind of show out in that area and be a threat in that area?
all right, just physical dimensions and abilities first. Donovan's a big guy. He's going to be a guy that can climb the ladder, win in the back half of the end zone, fade balls, from a, typically in those areas of the field, you're seeing more man coverages, you're seeing more brackets. So whoever's at number 3, is going to be in relation to a Mike Backer or a bigger safety, so that's where a guy like A.J. Barner comes in. The tight end typically down there has got to be able to win the middle of the field. And so A.J., Donovan McCulley, DJ Matthews is a guy that's always going to be able to win, on options and choices and quick game type stuff. I think the biggest thing is down there you've got to establish the ability to run the football so that play pass is successful. So, but anytime you've got a wideout that can win a one-on-one, anytime that you've got a tight end that can go truly win his matchup in the middle of the field, and then you got to play to the skills of the other people, in the offense. But I think one of the most underrated things is you got to be able to run the ball vertically in that area of the field, because you got to be able to run the ball vertically, because obviously safeties don't have very far to go. To run the ball east and west, you're going to struggle. So you got to be able to run the ball vertically, and you got to be able to throw the score, but I feel like we've got good pieces in place to do it, and that's becoming the game. If you can finish 65, 68, or 70% in terms of a touchdown rate on the year, you're going to win a lot of football games. That is a huge point of emphasis, and we started really early here in terms of emphasizing the red zone, the score zone, and goal line.
Coach, obviously a lot of new faces, whether it's on the player side or the personnel side, and a lot of unknowns for those of us outside, offensively especially. What is the true goal of that? Is getting to the first game with as little on film or known as possible, and how much easier has it made it for you to accomplish that?
Yeah, the ultimate goal of what we're doing right now is to win the first football game, and so as little as we can possibly let Illinois know is probably a good thing for us, and ultimately we got to protect the organization and make sure that we're putting our team in the best position to win the game possible. So we're going to be really quiet. We're just going to work on us. And, as always, we're going to go out there on the first play against Illinois. There'll be 11 people. There'll be somebody catching the snap, and we're going to go play. But I think it's allowed our group to build a really good camaraderie, to know that we're just worried about us right now. And we don't have to worry about any outside things, or we don't have to worry about anything else other than just us, and that's Coach Allen's plan, and that's what he wants for our organization. And so we're going to keep this thing really close to the vest and get ready to go play our best football Friday night.